Faith begins where sight ends. Hebrews 11 opens a window into a reality that cannot be seen with human eyes.
Faith is confidence in what we hope for, and assurance about what we do not see.
By faith, Abel offered God a better sacrifice than Cain did. His worship revealed a heart that trusted God.
Enoch trusted God so completely that Scripture says he walked with God. His faith was not merely belief, it shaped his entire life. By faith, Noah built an ark even though the coming judgment had never been seen. He trusted a warning about something still unseen. By faith, Abraham obeyed when God called him to leave his homeland and go to a place he would receive as an inheritance.
Sarah herself received strength to conceive because she considered him faithful who had promised.
Isaac, Jacob, and the generations that followed trusted God's promises, even when the fulfillment stretched beyond their own lifetimes.
Joseph, near the end of his life, spoke about the future exodus of Israel and gave instructions concerning his bones. He trusted God's promise beyond his own lifetime.
By faith, Moses' parents hid him for 3 months because they saw that he was no ordinary child, and they were not afraid of the king's command. Faith placed Moses in a basket among the reeds, and God used Pharaoh's own household to preserve the child. By faith, Moses refused to be known as the son of Pharaoh's daughter. He chose to identify with God's people rather than the temporary treasures of Egypt. He left Egypt, not because he saw the future clearly, but because he regarded God's promise as greater than Egypt's power. By faith, Moses kept the Passover and the sprinkling of blood, trusting God's provision for deliverance. By faith, the people crossed the Red Sea as though walking on dry land. Faith moved forward before the path could be seen.
By faith, Rahab welcomed the spies and was not destroyed with those who were disobedient, because she recognized the power of the God of Israel.
Hebrews remembers Gideon. Among those who conquered kingdoms through faith, God brought victory through people who trusted him beyond what their circumstances suggested. Barak was remembered among those who, through faith, turned impossible circumstances into victory.
Jephthah appears among those who conquered through faith, reminding us that Scripture remembers God's work through deeply imperfect people. David knew that faith could stand against giants. The shepherd trusted the God who had been faithful in the hidden places.
Hebrews then widens the picture to include Samuel and the prophets, people who trusted God enough to speak his truth regardless of the cost.
They conquered kingdoms, administered justice, shut the mouths of lions, quenched raging fire, and escaped the edge of the sword, because God was always with them.
But Hebrews does something surprising. It also remembers people who were mocked, beaten, imprisoned, persecuted, and killed. These believers did not receive the earthly outcome they hoped for. Yet Scripture says they were commended for their faith. Faith does not mean God always gives us the outcome we want. Faith means trusting him even when the outcome remains unseen. Hebrews 11 becomes a great cloud of witnesses, a testimony that faith has carried God's people through every kind of circumstance. And then the story moves beyond the heroes of Hebrews 11. Their faith points us toward Jesus, the pioneer and perfecter of faith.
So Hebrews 11 does not simply ask us to admire the past. Hebrews 12 tells us to run our own race with perseverance, fixing our eyes on Jesus.
If you feel weak, discouraged, or unsure whether God will come through, Hebrews 11 still speaks. Faith is not seeing everything. Faith is trusting the one who sees everything. The invitation remains: live by faith, endure with perseverance, and keep your eyes on Jesus.